Ice swimming effectively is swimming in cold water below 5 degrees. It can be dangerous. It's not the sort of thing that you would do on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning without any assistance.
I've just measured 10 degrees here. So the idea really is just to experience cold water in the damp, dark water. It's very different to the ocean.
Swimming a mile for me is very easy physically. Mentally, in those temperatures is what this swim is all about. It's a temperature swim. It's an extreme cold swim.
I know what my body's going to do. It's going to freeze up and it's going to get numb and it's going to pain and it's going to tell itself it doesn't want to be there. But I know I'm above that. It's kind of mind over matter, sort of something like that.
You know, there's always pain in the beginning. You know, you get in and you know it's going to hurt. You know, the face hurts, the teeth hurt, your hands go numb. You start losing feeling in various places.
Hypothermia is lethal. In extreme cold, the body's internal mechanisms are unable to replenish the heat being lost, and core temperature drops, followed by symptoms such as mental confusion and a loss of motor skills. There are people who, due to body type and mental conditioning, can survive swimming in cold water. This is the story of a select group of men and women who can swim for up to a mile in waters of 5 degrees Celsius or less. Ice swimming is clearly not for the faint-hearted. It's an extreme test of endurance, both mental and physical. Ice swimmers are united by their focus and dedication. Aside from that, these athletes come from all walks of life.
I do ice swimming because it's a great mental challenge and a physical challenge for yourself, and the sense of achievement afterwards is one of the greatest feelings.
For Rapinda Africa, this will be his first attempt at an ice swim.
I'm okay now. The water is a little bit cold, but now it's the first time I'm going out for the swim. But I'm looking forward to it, but I'm a little bit nervous. But once I'm in there, then I'll do my thing and then I'll finish the swim.
I would say the biggest risk is if you're not prepared enough mentally and physically, because that's the most important role, to be prepared for the challenge that you're setting for yourself.
Cool, thanks man. Incl, a sign for me? I must be able to read it, eh? So making the guys sign, because they're shivering, they're very cold, and if they can sign and I can read it, then they're managing with the cold water basically. So it's just one of my little tests. And obviously talking to them and seeing if they're confused.
5 degrees Celsius and below is considered an extremely low temperature, posing a physiological challenge to the human body. In these conditions, the heart rate slows dramatically, which can cause an arrhythmia or irregular heart rate.
So we're doing these medicals for the Fraserburg ice swim. There's a reasonable amount of risk for the guys swimming in ice cold water. So we need to make sure the guys are fit and strong. We do know that a lot of the guys get arrhythmias and they are at risk for potentially serious arrhythmias, heart abnormalities, as part of the hypothermic process, and that's why we're doing full medicals including ECGs.
As part of the mental and physical conditioning, ice baths are an essential part of training. Temperatures plummet as low as 1 degree, 3 times colder than a household fridge.
The physical is so heavy that if you're not mentally prepared, you can't actually overcome the physical.
The body loses heat 25 times faster in water than in air. Competitors must complete 10 minutes in order to qualify for the 1 mile ice swim. The ice baths were held at the V&A waterfront. Many swimmers say that the ice bath was more challenging than the swim itself.
I did the 1 degree bath thing in the amphitheater, in the waterfront, which actually felt fine in the ice baths. And it's afterwards, when I got out, for 5 minutes, you feel this most excruciating pain in the fingertips. It feels like someone's removing your fingernails or something, if you can get that idea. But that's the only way I can describe it.
The idea of the Ice Swimming Association came after my swim in Lake Zurich with Andrew Chin. When I made a commitment to try and do an ice swim in every continent and many countries. So I'm a bit cold. So suddenly the idea is why not establish it, put some rules, and document the whole thing.
During winter. I mean, we dress full thermal underwear, jackets, beanies, scarves. Water gets frozen. In the morning you can't shower because the water's sometimes frozen. So it really extremely gets very cold. But I think we're looking forward to having a very cold, icy, maybe some snow as well. That would make it more extreme.
The Speedo Ice Swim is proud to give something back to Fraserburg by supporting a local school, which is run by Ronelle LaRue. In contrast to the warmth of the event's hosts, Nieuwedam is one of the few bodies of water in southern Africa to reach below the required 5-degree mark.
Setup's looking good. It's the day before the event, so we're quite excited. As you can see, we've laid out the Mediclinic tent, which is where the guys will recover. And it's a matter of tomorrow morning getting here at sunrise, doing a final setup, and all systems go.
It's the night before the event. Time for the race briefing and registration.
You know, it's going to be a freezing night. There are no clouds above. Temperature's going to go down to probably -3, -4. It's going to bring the water temp down. We're going to have an early start tomorrow. And I think the swim's going to be very tough. You know, I'm going to have to do a little bit of talking to myself tonight just to get the head where it needs to be. Because it's more a mental game, this.
With the first swim at 7:30 the following morning, it's hard for competitors to think of much else.
The nerves are definitely in. That water's cold. I'm not looking forward to getting in.
Those are pretty cold. I'm starting to get pins and needles in them already, which is, I suppose it's okay because I'm not going to feel them in about 10 minutes anyway. So.
Again, a whole loop. By the time you got to here, you've done 800 meters, okay? It's very cold, eh? I can feel my hands as if I'm in the water already, it's so cold. It's light enough to swim, so as soon as they're ready, we're going to start, yeah.
The recovery is the real challenge of the swim, you know, because while you're swimming, you're generating heat and yeah, you're getting cold, but the recovery is painful.
Everybody's had their veins marked. What we do is we really just identify where the major peripheral veins are so that if we do need to get venous access, when the guys are cold, we know where to go.
The moment has arrived. For some, this will be their first 1-mile ice swim. To ensure they secure a sub-5-degree swim, this group are the first to hit the water. The water temperature is at 4.8 degrees. Conditions are ideal.
I think from a Speedo perspective, it's unbelievable. You know, I think the association with an iconic event like this is really what the brand's about. It's an amazing feat of human endurance. You know, it doesn't look as cold as it actually is out here, but it's pretty freezing. And you know, at a time when everybody's kind of lighting up fires to keep warm, you have some amazing athletes that are getting down into their Speedos and hitting the water, which is an amazing event for everybody and for the local community as well. We're doing our bit for the guys, so very excited to be involved. Yeah.
I think they're doing well. You know, there's a definite change to their strokes on the second loop as the cold sets into the core. You can see the arms getting a bit shorter. You can see them getting a bit sluggish, lying a bit deeper in the water. But they're all still swimming strong, so I know the pain they're going through. But yeah, all looks good.
Even the top swimmers that usually swim at a very similar pace spread around a lot, which means that the cold affect each one of them very differently. It would be interesting to see specifically the guys that are slower, because they're going to spend quite a lot of time in the water, and a lot of this is about time in the water.
Philip Emsley is the first to be helped out of the water. Next was the youngest competitor, 19-year-old Henko Rukma. Cecilia Schutte is the first female to complete a mile.
How are you doing, Cecilia? How did that go?
Upon exiting the water, the real challenge begins: recovery. Inside the heated Mediclinic tent, the swimmers can expect to get colder before getting warmer. This is known as afterdrop and is the result of cold blood from the limbs returning to the body's core, an excruciating experience. At this point, the swimmers are at their greatest medical risk. They are carefully monitored. Temperature and heart rate are measured regularly.
While in recovery in the tent, what happens is that blood circulation then starts to reperfuse some of the cold areas and moves blood that's been closed and been shut down in the vascular beds in the cold areas, moves that cold blood then peripherally, which mixes with the warm central blood and tends to drop the core temperature even further, even while they're warming, and that's what we call an afterdrop. Now that phenomenon only starts to happen once they are recovering and the blood vessels and the blood circulation starts to open up and washes that cold blood in.
The real challenge comes is how quickly you can finish it and get out and start the recovery, because the recovery is what the swim's all about.
The second heat is made up of an experienced team of ice swimmers, including Ram Barkai, founder of the International Ice Swimming Association.
Yeah, it's always tough. It's never easy, you know. Just as we walked into the water, suddenly you realized, oh dear, it's actually very cold. Much colder than your mind told you that it's going to be, because it was comfortable outside. And diving into the water was a bit of a shock.
I found the water very cold. My fingers swelled up, like right near the start. Felt like I could feel my left shoulder, felt like a couple of inches out, and yeah, so it was tough.
My breathing was starting to get quite heavy and tight, and I was a bit worried that it is because I just swam in Norway 10 days ago. Then your mind starts to panic. Maybe I haven't recovered properly. Am I okay? That's terrible.
At this sort of temperature of 5 degrees, I think you could probably manage somewhere between 20 and 40 minutes. Beyond 40 minutes, I think that you would start to find significant effects.
After roughly 25 minutes of swimming, it's straight to the medical tent, where the swimmers can expect to spend longer in recovery than they did in the water.
Obviously in the tent, the goal is really to warm the swimmers, bring their temperatures back up to normal, and then observe them for any potential afterdrop of temperature while monitoring them for any cardiac arrhythmias or any other adverse effects of hypothermia. By definition, anything under 35 to 32 degrees is regarded as mild hypothermia and has very few effects really. And then obviously below 28 is profound hypothermia, and that is carries a very high mortality rate.
Going through the recovery phase, this is the worst part for them. They're getting what we call the afterdrop, cold blood from their legs and arms going back to the middle of their body. So they're starting to shiver, they feel bad. It'll take them about half an hour.
Very euphoric about all the other guys that came to do it, because a lot of them were very, very nervous about this. There's some guys who a year or two ago saw a Fraserburg swim as if it was walking on the moon. And now they've done it. So mentally they conquered something massive.
The dream come true to finish up this ice water swim race, because it's the first time in my life.